Dylan, if you could go just on like a few minute spiel of operational efficiency that has absolutely transformed our business, what would you kind of talk about there?
Operations, I think the big thing about operations is making sure you're pre-planning not only a day or 2 days in advance, but weeks in advance at times. A good scenario of this is, for instance, this week we were talking about week control and all the jobs we need to complete, but also Christmas is on the horizon. So we had to create a game plan behind what we were going to do for that week that would best suit our customers, but also fit into our schedule for our guys being off that week. So we created a game plan around that to move a few jobs around so we could communicate that with the customers, move those jobs up so now our guys can make as much P for P in 1 week as possible, so it's not like they're missing out on work. And then the other part is now we get to service our customers in a timely manner before the new year and before Christmas. Another thing when it comes to operations, when it comes to your planning, is making sure that each of your employees have the tools they need for the day as well. For instance, I mean, this is the job of the crew leader, but for instance, they may have a landscaping job or some type of other landscaping job for winter services. So making sure that they have rakes in the truck, making sure they have trash bags, making sure that they have minimal downtime as far as having to come back to the unit to get what they need. As you're making schedule, you can see those types of things. You can see if the team's on a landscaping job that day and put it in dispatcher notes. You can make sure that they have the tools they need to head out for the day, especially if it's a good 15-20 minutes from the unit.
All right, Dylan, if you had to think of the biggest piece of advice, if you can only pick one thing to share with a company on how to maximize operational efficiency, only one piece of advice to be like the cornerstone of their business, what would you tell them?
I mean, I guess it's not really operationally, but it kind of is, because it's managing people. People are your biggest assets when it comes to operations and getting things done, because without those people, you can't really be successful in the operational side. So I would say managing your people, but also find out what makes them tick. Find out the reasons that they're, at the facility they are. For instance, we have a few employees that are opportunity driven, so keeping them motivated on that side. We have a few employees that are money driven, want to just make as much money possible, get home to their family. So just managing those different personalities and ensuring that they're getting what they need out of you, but you're also getting what you need out of them, which is getting the work done, getting it done in a timely manner, and then just setting expectations with those employees as well. Each of our crews are supposed to be handling 15 budget hours. If they don't finish that before 5 o'clock, figuring out the whys, what kind of went wrong that way. Was there lack of motivation? Was there, lack of communication as well? Did I forget to let the crew leader know about a landscaping job they had that day, that kind of stuff. But I would think the biggest advice is just managing your people. If you do that correctly and do it efficiently, you should be able to grow your business pretty good.
What would you say are your goals for 2025? Not like company-wide, but from an ops manager / regional manager standpoint, what would you say are your individual goals for 2025?
So individual goals, it obviously ties into the business a little bit, but I want to train our GMs to be effective and efficient in the field, on kind of what we've talked about in this video on operationally, how to manage their people. I really want to dial in that GM role, so as we grow, we can actually, duplicate that. And then also I want to just really redefine our week control. It's going to be a huge part of our business. I want to not only be able to teach it and train it, but be able to put anybody in that role. So if you don't know how to do week control, I just hand this piece of paper to you or this training document, and you can go out and actually complete that. If I can do that effectively, I think it will change our business as far as revenue goes, profitability, all those types of things, but it also allows us more opportunity for our employees to make more P for P and hire more employees in the long run. But I think my two biggest goals are really redefining the week control program and really dialing in what that GM role looks like and how do we make it most efficient as far as we're paying them a salary. So making sure that that salary is being paid for in the work they're completing, and making sure that work being completed is I guess not just busy work, not just them fixing equipment or doing computer work. It's how do we make them actually be working all day, every day, where it helps grow the business.
One thing I kind of picked up when Dylan was saying is we want to focus on, both him and I want to focus on simplicity, and that leads to scalability. So like on the weed control side, how can we make sure that one person can go in there, put minimal thought equity into a service, because we've already built out systems and procedures that think for them. Am I understanding you correctly in that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, simplicity grows a business. If it's complex and you have to teach it and train it on every level and be there hand-holding somebody, then you can't really grow the business, because the idea is to get the business to a point where you're no longer in the business, and the only way to do that is simplicity.
So Dylan, last question. If somebody is going from a solo operator and they've made up their mind that they want to have employees, they want to start an actual company, so that they can like kick their feet up one day in the future for whatever reason, what piece of advice would you give this business owner on how to hire and what to look for in their very first employee?
So when it comes to the very first employee, everybody's looking for the greatest employee, right? We all want that perfect fit employee, but the truth of the matter is you're just simply not going to find that on your first go. It's going to take you a few tries. You're going to have a lot of interviews. So if you have the time, then go for it. Try to find that perfect employee. Find someone that fits your core values, somebody that's going to go to work for you, somebody that you can grow the business with. But if you're just trying to find that first employee to get you past that hump of going to the next step, realistically, you're just looking for someone that's reliable, that's going to show up every day. I mean, to be honest, we call it 2 feet in a heartbeat, right? You just need somebody that's going to go out there, help you get the jobs done correctly. You're not looking for a leader. If you find it, awesome. But the biggest thing is you're just looking for someone to go out there, help you complete the work, help you fulfill your customers' needs, and realistically help you get to the next level so you can start that hiring and firing process and start weeding out the bad apples and getting your grade A apples.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kind of to Dylan's point, the way I view getting your first employee is it would be ideal. You're looking for 3 things. You want them to be money motivated. You want to be able to see yourself working alongside of them in a truck for 10 hours. If you don't like the person in the interview, probably not going to like hanging out with them for 10 hours a day. And then last thing is that they're coachable. I don't think we need somebody that knows exactly how to make tall grass short, because we can teach that. But do we enjoy being around them? Do they like making money? And do they have humility? Right?
Yeah. You got to like the person you're working for, especially that first employee. When you get to a point where you're so big, you don't necessarily have to like every employee, because your GMs will be doing the hiring at that point. But yeah, definitely your first few employees, you're going to have to enjoy being in a truck with, or and just enjoy their presence.